ஆன்மீக தலைவரும் அறிஞருமான சுவாமி விஞ்ஞானந்தா ஜியால் எழுதப்பட்ட இந்த தி ஹிந்து மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ புத்தகம் நிர்வாகம், சமூக ஒழுங்கு மற்றும் தேசிய முன்னேற்றத்திற்கான தர்மத்தால் இயக்கப்படும் கட்டமைப்பை முன்மொழிந்து எழுதப்பட்டது. வேதங்கள், மகாபாரதம், ராமாயணம், பகவத்கீதை மற்றும் அர்த்த சாஸ்திரத்திலிருந்து ஆழமாக எழுதப்பட்ட இந்த புத்தகம் நமது இந்திய கலாச்சாரங்கள் மற்றும் ஆன்மீகம் குறித்து பேசுகிறது. 8 முக்கிய அம்சங்களை மையமாக கொண்டு இந்த புத்தகம் வடிவமைக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அனைவரும் செல்வ செழிப்புடன் வாழ்வது, தேசிய பாதுகாப்பு, அனைவருக்கும் தரமான கல்வி, பொறுப்பான ஜனநாயகம், நாரி சக்தி அதாவது பெண்களுக்கான பாதுகாப்பு மற்றும் மரியாதை, சமூக நல்லிணக்கம், இயற்கை மற்றும் சுற்றுச்சூழல் பாரம்பரிய நடைமுறைகளை ஊக்குவிப்பது மற்றும் பாதுகாப்பது, நமது நாட்டின் பாரம்பரியத்தில் பெருமை கொள்வது, இந்த மொழிகள், வேதங்கள் மற்றும் மரபுகளில் பெருமையை பறைசாற்றுவது போன்ற விஷயங்களை உள்ளடக்கி எழுதப்பட்ட புத்தகமாகும். இதன் வெளியீட்டு விழா கடந்த ஜூலை 1ஆம் தேதி சென்னை கஸ்தூரி ஸ்ரீனிவாசன் ஹால் மியூசிக் அகாடமியில் நடந்தது. இதன் முழு வீடியோ தொகுப்பை இந்த பதிவில் பார்க்கலாம்.
நமஸ்காரம். On behalf of Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, we extend a warm welcome to each one of you for the launch of the Hindu Manifesto, a thought-provoking book written by Swami Vigyananand. I request Shri Linesh Sanat Kumar, President Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, and Shri Ashok Thakkar, former President Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, to accompany Swamiji and our chief guest for today, Shri Srisankaratv, to the dais. May I invite Shri Linesh Sanat Kumar, President Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Namaskar and good evening all. Greetings from the Hindustan Chamber of Commerce. Firstly, a warm welcome to Swami Vigyananand, writer of the book The Hindu Manifesto and the founder of the World Hindu Economic Forum. Welcome to Chennai, Swamiji. It's indeed a great honor and privilege that you have allowed Hindustan Chamber to be associated with your book launch today. I take pleasure in welcoming the chief guest for this program, Shri Srisankaratv, Managing Partner of Satya Jyoti Films, who have produced national awarding film movies and is also the treasurer of the Tamil Nadu Olympic Association. He will be engaging with our Swamiji for a fireside chat conversation. I welcome Shri Ashok Ji, former president of the HCC, and thank him for initiating this book launch today. I welcome the dignitaries off the stage, office bearers of Hindustan Chamber, President-elect Ramesh Dugarji, Vice President Praveen Tatya, former presidents of the Chamber, council members, chair and co-chair of the expert committees, HCC members, distinguished guests, and the press for the book launch, The Hindu Manifesto. At this moment, I do not want to miss the opportunity of mentioning a few words about the Chamber and its activities. For the benefit of many of our guests, Hindustan Chamber was established in 1945 and I stand before you as the 79th president. We have a membership strength of about 1,000 coming from various segments of trade and commerce, with MSME as a major grouping. We also have a good strength of professional members like CAs, CFAs, company secretaries, lawyers, etc. We have 23 committees which organize programs on many aspects related to trade and industry. For instance, we have a direct tax committee, indirect tax, which handles the GST, banking, insurance, MSME, investment, startup committee, etc. We have completed about 50 programs in the last 9 months for the benefit of our members. Besides the chambers, serving as an effective channel of communication between the central state government and the trade industry and the public, several leading personalities have graced the chamber with their presence on various occasions. Former presidents of India, such as Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, Dr. V. V. Giri, and Shri R. Venkataraman. And we also have prime ministers, state governors, chief ministers who have addressed at the chamber event. In fact, on the 75th, on the Platinum Jubilee celebration, we had our then Vice President of India, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, who was the chief guest and inaugurated the event. Coming to today's event, the book talks about Dharma-centric governance with 8 guiding sutras: prosperity for all, national security, quality education for all, responsible democracy, respect for women, social harmony, care for nature, and respect for heritage. All these 8 sutras form the core of the manifesto. Well, most of you are entrepreneurs and are from the business background. Swamiji, you are heading the World Hindu Economic Forum, and we are eager to hear from you lessons on leadership. Which of the sutras are most important for our nation at this point of time? Which of them will have maximum impact for the MSME sector, which faces challenges of collateral, of loan, funding, uncertain markets dependent on international issues, stricter compliances, etc. With these few words and thoughts, on behalf of the Hindustan Chamber, I once again extend a warm welcome to our Swamiji, Chief Guest, Sendil Tyagarajan, former President Ashok Thakkar, and you all for this engaging session and book launch. Can we put our hands together and set the tempo for the evening?
Now request Shri Ramesh Dugar, President-elect, Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, to introduce Swamiji.
Respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege to introduce a distinguished guest and a distinguished Hindu monk, Swami Vigyananand. Swami Vigyananand is a distinguished Hindu monk, intellectual and global leader who has played a pivotal role in the modern Hindu Renaissance, combining deep spiritual insight with academic excellence and strategic thinking. He has become a prominent advocate for Hindu empowerment through economic strength, cultural pride, and institutional collaboration. He is the founder and global chairman of 3 major international Hindu platforms: World Hindu Foundation, World Hindu Economic Forum, and World Hindu Congress. These initiatives have united thousands of Hindu leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals, and activists from over 60 countries. Their purpose to promote Hindu values and identity while empowering the community through collaboration in sectors like economy, education, media, governance, and culture. Swamiji also serves as the Joint General Secretary of the Vishu Hindu Parishad, PHP, overseeing global outreach and community building. His leadership focuses on creating long-term institutional capacity for Hindu society, guided by the principle Dharmasya Mullam Artha. Economic meaning, the economic strength is the foundation of Dharma. Academically, Swami Vigyananand is an alumni of IIT Kharagpur, where he learned his BTech degree. He later pursued intensive study in Indian philosophy and Sanskrit, completing Acharya in Paninian grammar and Vedangas. Vidyavriddhi in Indian philosophy, and Vachaspati in Vedic Samhita and Brahmana's texts. He was spiritually initiated into the Dasnami Sannyasi order of Advaita Vedanta under the guidance of spiritual masters of Kailash Ashram, Rishikesh. This fusion of rigorous spiritual training and modern education defines his unique leadership style. Over to you, Swamiji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request Shri Praveen Kumar Tatia, Vice President, Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, to introduce our chief guest, Shri Sendil V. Tyagarajan.
Good evening, Jai Jinendra. It's my pleasure to introduce chief guest for the day, Shri Sendil V. Tyagarajan. Sendil V. Tyagarajan is a multifaceted entrepreneur and a sports administrator. He is the managing partner of Satya Jyoti Films and Satya Movies, a family-owned film and television media house for more than 6 decades. The group has produced several national award-winning and landmark blockbuster movies since late 50s. His last 2 films as a producer, Captain Miller in 2024, the anti-colonial actioner won the UK National Award, and family drama Vishwasam 2019 created television viewership records and also winning the National Award for the Best Music. He also leads a social organization that empowers academic and job pathways for rural girls through rugby, basketball, netball, and kabaddi. His other interests includes election strategies and psychology, research pertaining to ancient trade history, trade routes, and Tamil literature. He is the chairman of Velir Aivu Mayam, which elicits several research and reprinting of ancient historical Tamil scriptures that is intervened with economic ideologies and Saiva Siddhantam. Through his maternal grandfather, Mr. R.M. Veerappan, who was a vanguard in the Dravidian movement that accentuated social justice ideology and regionalism. Also, Mr. R.M. Veerappan was one of the founders of Dravidian parties ADMK that governed Tamil Nadu for more than 30 years. Additionally, he was pioneer in propagating Dravidian ideology through commercial mainstream blockbuster movies. He has a bachelor's degree. Mr. Tyagarajan has a bachelor's degree in commerce and statistics from Loyola College and a master's degree in finance from California State University. Additionally, he also has a master's degree in international relations from Fletcher School. Currently, he is a trade commissioner, Latin American Caribbean Trade Council, Secretary General, Rugby India, Treasurer Tamil Nadu Olympic Association, Senior Vice President Tamil Nadu Basketball Association, and Managing Partner Satya Jyoti Films and Entertainments. Let's welcome our chief guest through Sendil V. Tyagarajan.
I now have the privilege of handing over the session to our chief guest and Swamiji for the conversation and to engage in a thought-provoking fireside chat.
First of all, thanks Ashok ji for having me here, because the chamber is commerce and trade. So when I actually spoke to Swami about 6-7 years back in the phone, through N. Gopalji, who was then the VHP General Secretary, who was in charge of Ayodhya Temple. We were traveling all around the Delta region, Kaveri Delta. So I was showing all the Saivite mutts, Dharmapura, all the madangalam காமிச்சிட்டு இருந்தாங்க திருவாரூர். அப்போதான் அவங்களுக்கு செங்கோல் பற்றியே தெரியும் for 2018. So I was showing him all the Shaivite mutts, Shaiva Siddhanta mutts, which was Dharmapura, Thiruvadurai, Thirupanandal. I was showing him around, and also Thiruvarur Periya Temple, because Thiruvarur big temple has got amazing history, which is unmatched, unparalleled, right? So, and that's when he connected me to Swami Vigyananand. We had a brief conversation. He kind of, if he remembers, he was in Singapore, Malaysia then, because my wife is Malaysian, and I was telling him how Singapore, the first investor when Raffles landing, right? First investor in Singapore was a Tamilian called Narayana Pillai. And he's got a statue now. That time, 2018, they built it. And for commemorating almost 200 years of Singapore founding. He was one of the first founders of Singapore. And he's the one who built the Brixford Mariamman Koil. I know it's a King in Singapore. The Brixford Mariamman Koil was built by him. And it's, of course, a national monument in Singapore. Similarly, we spoke about Thammuswamy Pillai, who founded the Battu Caves, who was also a trader, businessman. So there's so much opportunities, because we're talking about trade and commerce. Civilization started with that, right? The Peripulus of Eritrean Sea captures the antiquity of Tamil ports or South Indian ports, whatever you call it, Pumbuar to Tondi to Musri. It's so much of documentation on that. I'm saying about 2,000 years back. And similarly, Malacca Straits, how the Chola expansion happened to set rules and order. And the Cholas is very important because expansion happened because of trade guilds, through specific trade guilds called Manigramam and Ayol. Ainur Varman Tamil, all over South India, even Karnataka and all. They were part of Hoysalas, Cholas, everywhere. So these trade guilds are fundamental expansion for Cholas to expand into Southeast Asia, to set international rules of trade with the Chinese, with the Song dynasty. So what I'm trying to coming at is, this book has got those fundamentals of how a nation can be very strong, based on sovereignty. And these principles have already been been a bedrock of our Hindu scriptures, Shaiva scriptures, and including, he's talked about, Swamiji's mentioned Ramayana, Bharata, Arthashastra, everything. But I also want to include about Shaiva Siddhanta, because Tirumandiram also talks about that, Tirumulas, and Swamiji is working in Kadargamam now. Kadargamam is a very interesting place. Arunagarinathar, அங்கே போய் அங்கே பாடியிருக்கார் இந்த கோயிலை பற்றி. இப்போ அந்த கோயில் it's very interesting. He'll explain more because it's about a temple where you got Singaravel, Kandakumara deity இருக்கு. You also have Buddhists also throng to the place. Vedasna is a local, like Vedar Abhima. So those people also come to worship to the temple. So there's a lot of integration happening there. So which is again connects to what Tirumula said. So there's a lot of interesting things, and this bedrock for how a nation can be strong is there in ancient scripture. Whether it's Saiva Siddhanta, Vedas, everything is got that. And he's talking about justice in that, right? Manunini Cholan was an icon in justice. Everybody knows about Manunini Cholan. Ancient Chola who ruled Thiruvarur, who gave away his son because ஒரு பசு வந்து மணி அடிச்சிச்சு, நியாயம் கொடுக்கணும், தர்மம் கொடுக்கணும். So all these factors are there. So I think Sir can, Swamiji can explain briefly on this. And we are in a path of getting a global power, but we need to really lift our cultural history, right? Because people don't talk about it. You know, when I speak to a lot of Americans of studied in Tufts University, I tell them, pioneers of free market capitalism are Indians. People from Bharat. These are Tamils. There's a book written by Kanagalatha Mukund, Pioneers of International Trade. But Tamils were, Tamil merchants were. Same thing, Gujarati merchants are very dominant, controlling entire Zanzibar port and trade with Arab. So a lot of histories that we don't even talk about it. When you go to Western world and explain this, that's when they understand the antiquity of what we have done, how trade, and he mentioned, his appendix mentions about how 17th century is the biggest economy in the world in GDP. That's so true. So we can get there. It's always a cycle. And China also was. So I'll let Swamiji explain the details of the book, and we can have a very good discussion based on that.
Vanakkam, namaste. You can hear me? As our Senthilji mentioned, I'm just going to give you some of the quotes from this book. You will read when you have time, no? When I studied in Gurukul, I realized our Shastra has a tremendous amount of knowledge which is contemporary, not only talking about the Swarga and Moksha and after death. These are very relevant for modern society. So idea came how to write these things for the present generation. Because if I will write 500-page book, I don't know everybody will remember or not. So I again went back to our Rishi Parampara. Our tradition is the Sutra model, you know. All our Vedanga, Upanga is the Sutra model. We have Vedanta Sutra, we have Nash Sutra, we have Shank Sutra, we have Yoga Sutra, we have Mimamsa Sutra. We have a Mimamsa Sutra. The Sutra means a tremendous amount of knowledge contained in that. So what I did, I identified 8 Sutra from the Shastra. So everybody can remember these 8 Sutra. And I just explained that. First Sutra talks about the Dharmasya Mulamartha. It is from the Kautila Sutra. Prosperity for all. And as a Hindu, we have never condemned poverty, but we have never celebrated poverty. We have always aspired for prosperity. That is what our Shastra talks about. And the purpose of wealth creation is that wealth creation is also considered a dharma activity. People nowadays talk, oh, sansar mithya hai, maya hai. But I always tell them, oh, sansar mithya, maya, but dakshina is satya, you know. This is the Kali, you know. This is how people talk. But reality is that our Shastras are very clear. Wealth creation is also considered a dharma activity, is not a sin. And what is the purpose of wealth creation? When we had our conference in Bangkok, one international journalist asked me, what is the difference between a Hindu philosophy of wealth creation and communist and socialist and also the capitalist philosophy? I told them, look, capitalists talk about the wealth creation, but they don't talk about the sharing the wealth. Socialists talk about the distribution of wealth, they don't talk about the creation of wealth. Hindu talk first creation of the wealth, then sharing the wealth. Veda talk about Satahasta Samahara Sahastra Hasta Sankira. Create wealth with 100 hands and serve with 1,000 hands. That is the beauty of our Shastra in the terms of wealth creation. So in this book I have written about the wealth creation, taxation, and one thing which I want to especially point out here today, many people, because nowadays wealth creator in this country is considered bad, Politicians are considered sacred, but wealth created is considered bad, I will tell you, when we had a conference once in Mumbai, one politician came, businessmen should do ethical business. I told everybody want to do ethical business. But you know how much they take, you can say risk. They collect their own saving, then they request relatives, then they have some little, then they go to bank, then they will get some money from the bank and they will set up with the taking all risk. They will set up industry, factory. First they will give employment, then they will create wealth, then they will pay taxes. You people create problem for them. They cannot bribe you with the white money. They do circumvent and they bribe you, then their industry is there. These people, you are telling them to do the ethical business. I am asking you, you politician, I know none of you are from IIT, none of you have educated in Harvard, MIT, you don't have ancestral wealth. From where all the wealth has come? You have all engineering college, medical college, all the media, everything is controlled by you. Nobody questions them. We need to question these people. They have become, I am telling you, this is how our ancestors were very clear. Some entrepreneur, I am reading from some entrepreneur, both poor and wealthy, have become prosperous in a short period. Minister and tax collectors should not be misled by others into believing that their success was achieved through the improper means. You can see this is how thinking of our ancestors in this. I don't want to go in detail. They talk about the taxation, how to taxation should be. First, consider the cost of the raw material. This is in Mahabharata. Consider the raw material cost, transportation cost, manufacturing cost, technology cost, sales and purpose, marketing cost, business survival cost, businessman own survival cost. Considering all these factors, taxes should be imposed. When I was delivering lecture in the MIT, I told, this is 5,000 years they have how our ancestors thought. And in this book, our Shastra are talking about anti-capitalistic also. A state and society should not allow exploitation of the wealth by somebody. Somebody is powerful and exploiting somebody else. They are destroying everything. So we should not allow this. So I have mentioned that you can see this is not given by the Marx. This is given by our rishis. The first chapter talk about this. In this law, as an appendix, I have given the Angus Madison data, as he mentioned centrally. Then I have also summarized Bill Dura. Bill Dura wrote a book, Case for India, and in that he has collected data how British looted us. And there is a 2-volume book by Ramesh Sundar, the Economic History of India, Part 1, Part 2. I have given summary of that so people should understand how we were rich and how we became poor. Second sutra is Satrun Jaya Praja Raksha. When the book was released, this was released just after this Pahalgam incident. Shastra is very clear. Satrun Jaya Praja Raksha. Defeating enemy, defending citizen. How you are going to ensure the citizen safety of the security? First, you need to identify your enemy, defeat and destroy. Then only you can ensure the safety and security of your citizen. Our Shastra is very victory in war is dharma. Victory in war is dharma, and it is source of all sorts of happiness. When enemy is using deceit and fraud, we must use deceit and fraud to defeat, because that is dharma. We Hindu, we felt trapped, the folly of our own, misguided, karuna, ahimsa, mitrata, and we gave shelter to all the enemy, You know that Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Gauri many times, but we allowed him to go back. He came back more prepared, and he has not defeated Prithviraj Gauri in the battlefield. He told, I am coming here not to fight because my governor has sent me. Give me some time. and I returned back. I am sending letter to my governor. So all people got relaxed. Early morning, 4 o'clock, when Prithviraj Chauhan was going for call for nature, they attacked. This is how they did, So we as a Hindu, we as a civilization, we have paid heavy price. In future, we should not pay this price. We should not be fooled by this. Our Shastras are very clear, Those who are foolish or naive and fail to use deceit when dealing with a deceitful enemy are inevitably defeated. Crooked enemy infiltrate and destroy such people, Those who are honest but lack practical insight are destroyed just as sharp arrow pierce and destroy unprotected body without armor. Our Shastras are very clear. But we as a society fail to learn from wisdom of our Shastra. Here just I want to give you one, how our Shastra, they are not talking about ordinary thing. This is 5,000 years old. The strategic weapon are, if a strategic weapon are not properly stored and maintained, they can cause destruction. A strategic weapon should be kept properly. If you kept properly, it will give you victory. So they are talking about the strategic, they are not talking about the ordinary weapon. Defense fortification should be equipped with a weapon, combat vehicle, engineers, fighting force, adequate supply, everything they are clear. Third sutra is Nasti Vidya Samam Chakshukam Mahabharata, quality education for all. This is the responsibility of a state and society to provide affordable, accessible, quality education to all the citizens, irrespective of everybody. And therefore, we were great civilization. We built first university. We have a Taxila which is now in Pakistan, Nalanda, Bikramshila, Balbi, Odanpuri. Name so many universities. These are a few recorded universities. All those education system are destroyed. So in the last, as an appendix of this chapter, I have given the summary of the beautiful tree by Dharmpalji. During this is Dharmpalji survey is based on Adam survey here in Tamil Nadu those days. That is Madras Presidency, Bengal Presidency, Bombay Presidency, Punjab Presidency. All those survey how every 200 person family we had one school. And all those were school destroyed by the British and therefore become illiterate and poor. Fourth sutra is from Abhigyan Sakuntalam, that is talking about Avisram Loktantra Adhikar. I am giving the background, You know the Sankuntala story? Gautami, the wife of Rishi Kanu, took Sankuntala along with the Brahmachari to the court of Dushyanta. When they went there, the receptionist telling, "Oh, you just came, court is over now. King has gone to the rest." But again she is telling, Lok Tantra Adhikar, you have a right. In a Lok, they are not using Prajatantra, they are using word Lok Tantra, you have a right. King has no rest in public service, he will come and attend to you. That is how our Lok Tantra was, So our Lok Tantra is responsible to the public. It's not the 5 year we have elected a loot and plunder. This is how the modern democracy is. I don't want to go in detail. Hitler was born out of the modern democracy. He was a democratically elected person. This is how he became dictator, Number 5th sutra is Agra Eti Yuti Haryana from Rigveda. Highest respect women. We are branded by European, we are, what is called, they use one word. Misogyny, this misogyny. In a Rigveda, if you give the Rigveda talk about the 28 rishis. They are not talking about female rishi, Brahmavadini rishi, 28 Brahmavadini rishi in the Rigveda. I have given the mantra of the all 25 because I identified 25 rishi mantra. I have given the first place. And how you measure a safety, security and civilization, how you treat your women, how you treat your women in your society, that is how you measure your civilization. And how you measure a safety and security in your state, they are mentioning. When women, a beautiful women, adorned with all the beautiful ornament, Apurusha alone, moving freely in your estate and nobody is touching, and sees safe, sound, then you understand you have a high quality of safety and security in the state. Here, important point is that it's not just lip service, They are talking about the involvement, the decision making, If Satyabhama asked Draupadi, how come Pandava are doing so much dharma activity? From where they got time? She is telling, I look after the Pandava income and expenditure of the state. I look after the Pandava accounting of the state. I look after Pandava administration. I look after all these. Therefore, they have time to do the dharma activity. You can see that involvement, they have decision making. Chapter 6 is talking about Ek Vanas Tada Loko, non-discriminatory social system. This is from the Mahabharata, Nahusha Sambhada. There is a discussion between Nahusha and Yudhishthira. So, Yudhishthira is telling, in beginning of when our civilization started, our society started, we have only one Varna. Now there are so many Varna, in future there will be only one Varna. So in our society there should not be any discrimination on any type, Now in this book I have explained what is the actual meaning of Varna. European came, they translated Varna as a color. Now we have started using Varna as a Brahmana Varna, Kshatriya Varna. Varna is not neither is color, not this, Varna means I am using from the Sayana commentary and also Durgachar commentary of the Nirukta. Varna means the duty and responsibility you are accepting or inducted in. That is the meaning of the Varna. And what is the meaning of Jati? Now people are starting with Brahman Jati, Kshatriya Jati, so many Jati. Edgar Thurston wrote caste and tribal suddenly. I don't know from where he created suddenly so many thousands of castes he created during the census time. Jati means Akriti, Nyaya Sutra say Akriti Jati Likhanga. When you say cow, the cow image is coming. That is their Jati. And next Sutra say Saman Prashwatimka Jati. When the cognition of the cow is happening in the mind, that is her Jati. And problem happened here, the Prashav, there is a Sanskrit word Prashav. Many people have translated Prashav means biological birth. But actually, Samana Buddhya Prashude. This is cognition happening among, that is actually meaning of the Prashav here. But people have totally mistranslated. There is another word Jatiye. That Jatiye word is used for a national purpose. You have a Bangladesh BNP, Bangladesh National Party. The Bengali name is Bangladesh Jatiye Party. This Jatiye word is constructed in terms of brotherhood. Jatyan Tacha Bandhuni as per the Panini Sutra. Recently, before releasing of my book, our Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad National General Secretary came to meet me. He told Swamiji, I went to Andhra Pradesh. The state secretary is telling himself that he is a Rashtra secretary and I am a national secretary. He introduced me as a Jatiya secretary. I told what he is telling is correct. Actual meaning of that is that. But people don't know. But another word is Jnati. Anybody is Gujarati here? Jnati. Jnati means kulam, family tradition. But problem has happened because in Hindi or North, yag become jag, yog become jog, So the Jnati has become Jati, People have totally misunderstood and interpolated, So I have explained that in this book. So actual meaning is here. Another important thing I want to just point out, I have mentioned in Mahabharata, they say that we Hindu discriminated Karna because of he was low caste. These are all bogus, Karna was born in Anga, which is the present day northern Bihar. His father sent him to northern Bihar, 1300 kilometers to Delhi to get educated under the Dronacharya. Dronacharya and Kripacharya both accepted him as a disciple, same Gurukul. He has studied there. So here in this book, very clearly, Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Ramacharya. Karna studied for Kripacharya, Dronacharya and Parshurama. And after education, Dronacharya asked him for Gurdakshina. He told him, go and arrest Drupada because he has insulted me. Karna along with Pandava went there. Drupada defeated him. Then Arjuna went and captured the Drupada. That is the whole story. But the cinema, sorry to say, this TV serial, all those fellows have they totally misguided our society, and our society believe that is the history. So this is Sixth Sutra. Here I have in the appendix, I have given the 3 chapters. There is a famous book by Western Debate on the Caste by, there is 4 scholars, Prakash Shah, Danki Jalki, Farek and Sufia Pathan. They have worked on this. This caste word is all Western foundation. The caste was not in our construct. Then there is another professor. He was a professor of, he was a vice chancellor, president of the University of California, UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, Nicholas Duck, Caste of Mind. So I have given the summary of that book also. How the caste is originated during the census time in Bharat. And third book is K.S. Lal. He wrote Caste and Tribe in Medieval India. How the caste and tribe were created during medieval time. He gave the examples, and I gave the lively example. We have one doctor. His name is Yaspal Lakra. He's in Detroit. He's a Jat. He told when he came to Jharkhand, he saw my community people are here in large number. They are Lakra. They are all very fighter people. They are tribal. Actually, they are the mainstream agriculture people during the Mughal time. They run away, they lived in jungle, they have become now tribal. This is how I have mentioned in the book. 7th Sutra talked about the nature, care for nature, That is Sarvam Shanti from Shanti Mantra. I am not going detail. Here I just want to point out one thing. People say, though, we Hindus used to sacrifice animal and put in the fire, Agni Kundu. Actual Sanskrit word is Aja Yastabhyam. Aja Yastabhyam. Literal translation they have made Aja means goat. Sacrifice the goat and do the havan. But actually in the original Sanskrit, Aja itikim Saptavarshan se brihata. The seed which cannot germinate, the seed which is not useful for agriculture, seed which is not useful for the consumption, should be burned in that fire kund. That is actual meaning. But whole mistranslation has been done by our people and foreigner also. And the last sutra is Mata Bhumi, respect for the land. This is talking about the patriotism. Here, important thing I want to just mention, since we are all here in Chennai. When last time I came and delivered lecture once, sometime back in IIT Madras, I mentioned कि Bhagavad Mahapuran, chapter 9th Skandha, chapter 1, sloka 2, very clearly mentioned, Yo Ashau Satyabrato Nama Rajarsi Dravideswara. We in the present generation of Hindu, we are all descended of this Dravideswara Rajarsi Satyabrata. He is our ancestor, and he is not born in Uttar Bharat. He is from the Dakshin Bharat. Very clearly mentioned in the Bhagavad Mahapuran. At the end of the last Kalpa, Rajarsi Satyavrata, the king of Dravida, attained knowledge and wisdom through the penance and tapas, become Vaivashat Manu in this Kalpa. So if we do all Sankalpa, that is Vaivashat Manu, he is that Vaivashat Manu. And here, just for your all purpose, now Chin say, oh, we have captured this Ladakh is ours, and this our, what is called Arunachal Pradesh is ours. I have given the reference from Mahabharata. King Mandhata said that under his rule, the region included Yavanas, which is Greek, Kirata, Central Asia, Gandhara, Afghanistan, China was under China, Sarvara, Barbara means Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Mali, Niger, Mauritania, Shaka, Tusara, Kanka, Pallava, Andhra, Madra, Pondra, Pulinda, Ramata. These are all reason he has mentioned, these were all reason I was ruling, And Chinese has paid tax, that also have recorded here. So that is our area, history, we have forget. And here in this book I have mentioned, in Mahabharata, for your information, Cholas are mentioned. In Mahabharata, Pandyas are also mentioned. And both Pandya and Chola supported Pandava in the war, and they all supported with the army. But unfortunately, now they are supporting Kaurava, So you have to understand what is our history. So I just mentioned this here. And the last, our Shastra is very clear. Those who seek to increase their fortune through the instructor's means, harming and betraying their country, are like vermin feeding on a corpse. They are anti-national. We must identify them and destroy them. Namaste.
Respected invitees, esteemed guests, scholars, members of the media, friends, and Adharaniya Swamiji, and of course, Sindil, a good friend. I know him for a long time, but I know his father much better. It is my profound honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this momentous occasion, the second launch of the book Hindu Manifesto in Chennai, and the gracious presence of a visionary spiritual leader and global thinker, Swami Vigyananand ji. First and foremost, I expressed our deepest gratitude to Swamiji, whose unwavering dedication to the cause of Dharma and the global Hindu Renaissance continues to inspire millions. As the founder of the World Hindu Foundation and Hindu Economic Forum, and a tireless advocate for cultural unity, Swamiji's insight and leadership have given immense strength and clarity to Hindu voices across nations. Today's event reflects the same vision of awakening, articulation, and to understand the values of our civilization and Dharma and imbibing them in our daily life and business through a well-crafted and timely document, the Hindu Manifesto. We are equally thankful to all of you for having graced the occasion to understand from the author what this book is all about, and it is not about what Hindus want politically. Because the name sometimes, Hindu Manifesto, many people think that it is something to do with politics. It has got nothing. It is not merely a book, it is a call to action, a guiding light, and a mirror to our collective aspirations. Our sincere thanks to Sindhil, who hails from the family of a Dravidian stalwart and is also a dear friend and an ardent sports person and a supporter of sports. Everyone's presence has enriched the event with their thoughts and reflections. Your words have helped us situate this manifesto in the larger context of our time, politically, spiritually, and culturally. We also thank the organizing team, volunteers, and support staff whose effort behind the scenes ensured the smooth execution of today's launch. Your dedication is deeply appreciated. Of course, I would like to mention the name of Mr. Sadagopan, French written Dandapani, and Prajojji and all of them. Lastly, to all of you who have joined us today, your presence is a reminder that we are not alone in this journey. Each of us is a stakeholder in the Dharma civilization, and your engagement gives strength to this movement. Let us carry forward the message of the Hindu Manifesto with pride, responsibility, and resolve. Nandri, Vanakkam, Valga Tamilagam, Jai Hind.